What's going on, guys? Logan JYA here, DRYKage, back at it again with the biggest meme build of DRYTRON for 2023. If you read the title right, that's right, we're cooking with the Hungry Burger cards. The Nouvelles archetype has found its way into this DRYTRON build. Now, full transparency, this is a small Nouvelles package. This is not a full Nouvelles focused deck. However, we are taking advantage of some of the cards to back up some of the insane plays that DRYTRON already has. We're going to be talking about it super realistically at the end of the video, so be sure to stick around for that, as well as a combo tutorial. I don't want to bore you guys too much. Hungry Burger finally found its way into the 2023 metagame in the form of DRYTRON, so without further ado, let's get into it. And be sure to stick around. There's going to be a super exciting announcement in the middle of the video before we get into the combo tutorial. Let's do it. Alright, folks, this is it. This is Hungry Burger DRYTRON. This is the Nouvelles archetype, a small package weaved on in with the DRYTRON strategy. Again, as I said in the intro, don't get too excited. This isn't a massive Nouvelles Hungry Burger deck with DRYTRON complementing it. It's more so the other way around. DRYTRON's the main star of the show here, and we're using the Nouvelles cards for a very specific purpose. But without further ado, we're going to dive into the profile, and I'll explain things as we kind of go along. And be sure to stick around for the end of the video. I'll show you the combo tutorial, and I will also make explicit mention of my honest thoughts about this combo. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, so the DRYTRON ratios, I'm going to go super quick because they're pretty much the same as our last build. We're doing triple alpha, triple zeta, double delta, as well as double gamma. And that has not changed for this build. It's kind of the same game plan. This build has several win conditions kind of weaved into it, and I'll talk about those as we get to them. But for all intents and purposes, the DRYTRON ratio remains the same. Moving on to our ritual support strat, of course, we've got our girl Ben 10 maxed out at 3. You gotta play 3. It's one of the best cards in the deck. Follow that up with the Natasha. No way in heck we were cutting this regardless of the build. Still playing Draco Nids. I will never cut this card. Again, too many lessons learned from trying to not play it. And I've chosen to keep in the Chaos Max. Honestly, with this build, and you're going to see why in a second, you could cut this, but I kind of went with everything in the kitchen sink in terms of win conditions for this build, so I didn't want to cut it. I genuinely felt like I would be taking a big weapon out of the barrel if I took this card completely out, but then again, I'm probably decreasing consistency because we have too many ritual monsters in here. I'd say this is definitely cuttable if you want to just focus more so on the other win conditions, but for this build, maximum flexibility, I kept it in. You could even go as far as to side deck it if that was your preference, or side deck any one of the other win conditions as we go through them. I'm still playing the 2 orange lights in the main. You could also cut this down to 1 for this particular build because we're not playing Herald of Perfection, being 100% honest about that. But since this did just come off the ban list, I figured we would continue to play the 2 copies, as well as one of our other main win conditions, Vanity's Ruler, in this build. You're going to see what we're trying to do with this build. It's very similar to some past iterations of DRYTRON, so therefore we are playing the Ruler as well as the 1 Diviner as our other secondary normal summon. We do still play the 1 Diviner. Now we get into the Hungry Burger, the Nouvelles package for this deck. And again, guys, don't be disappointed that this is a small package. If you guys want to see a full-on Nouvelles deck profile, maybe with or without DRYTRON, let me know. Let's smash 200 likes and then we can make it happen. But starting things off, we are playing one of the level 5, the Balamanjeri, I don't know how to pronounce it, man, and then the 1 copy of the Bale Grill. These are 2 of the big ones, and we've got the 1 Hungry Burger to go along with this one, as well as the 1 Chef's Special Recipe Counter Trap. So this is the entirety of the package, and I want to explain it real quick. I'm going to put these 2 on the side here and kind of go through it piece by piece. So right here, we've got our main boy, right? This one, the level 5, is kind of our main enabler here. And the cool thing about him, take a look at that. He's got 2,000 attack points. And when he's summoned, he searches any Nouvelles card, which means it gets you the Special Recipe, which is a counter trap that can negate spells, traps, or monster effects. So, if you were able to summon him while going through your main combo line, you were able to line up this counter trap. But since he wasn't special summoned by a Nouvelles, he is not a quick effect if you summon him with Medionis. And we are not playing any of the Nouvelles ritual spells in this build. So he's really only serving the purpose of getting the recipe turn 0 But turn 2, say you're going, or turn 1, I should say, if you're going second, the cool thing you can do with him is not only search this, but then you can also use his ability to tag out into the big Bale Grill, and this one has the ability to negate the opponent's board and tribute their board, which is absolutely insane. And if you stick this on the field and keep it there, it's either a level 6 to go into Beatrice with, or you can keep it as a form of interruption where it's a quick effect since you summon it off the level 5's effect to bring out the Hungry Burger by tributing one of your opponent's monsters. So that is the whole package kind of explained in a nutshell what we're doing with this build. Again, it's very, very small, but the key point here is turn 0, you're using the 5 and the recipe as sort of a insurance policy for whichever win con you pursue, whether you're going for Vanity's Ruler or you're going for the Chaos Max. Yes, it is a 3-card combo, but we have as many enablers as possible to kind of see it. It's the usual deal, same as another thing like the Magic Keys. You open up Alpha Zeta plus either this Hard Drawn or Ben 10 or Preparation of Rites, you are able to do the full combo. But that is that, explained briefly. Now we're going to go back into our core strats here. We're going to keep it super duper quick. Of course, we're playing triple copies of Nova, 1 copy of Fafnir to go along with it, 1 copy of Medionis, completely cut out the second one. I do kind of miss it low-key, but again, minimizing bricks. We've already got a fair amount of bricks in here. Triple copies of Cyber Emergency, search any name. Triple copies of Preparation of Rites. I said earlier, this is one of those main enablers for the full combo. And for one-ofs, we got 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Called by the Grave, and then to round things out, we're going to show you the hard-going second cards here, and these also kind of double to not only enable your DRYTRON plays, but also enable your Nouvelles blowout plays. If you do want to play with that level 5 into the level 6 to clear the opponent's board with the free tribute, the best cards that kind of go along with it be things like Droplets and Dark Ruler. So these also enable your plays and also are just great negations to clear out the opponent's board and then proceed to combo. If you have the Dark Ruler, then you can put them in kind of an unwinnable situation by using things like your usual DRYTRON effects and climbing into a board of Vanity's Ruler or the Chaos Lock. Now going into the extra deck, real quick, 2 copies of Moy Beta, no explanation needed there. 1 copy of Fuko, you know how we pronounce this properly. 1 copy of Beatrice to go along with it. Sometimes you still need it. It's one of the best cards, that one for a reason. 1 copy of the Downer Magician for our big Zeus plays, which we of course are still playing. And that's it for the Exceeds. Going into the links, we got the 1 copy of Link Haribo. Again, this extract is pretty similar with a few key changes. The 1 Phoenix, the 1 IP. Since we are playing the Vanity's Ruler, I thought we had to play the Mirage Light to kind of dodge things like Imperm. Of course, it doesn't help you much against Dark Ruler or Droplets, but Imperm is still seeing a lot of play. We're seeing preliminary lists of people choosing to play it. Therefore, Mirage Lights does make a heck of a lot of sense as a spell or trap negate. 1 copy of Dynamon to go along with our Chaos Max. You could probably bump this up to 2 if there's something else you want to cut. We got our Boral Sword here for closing out games, and our Underworld Goddess. Again, this is a flex spot, a cuttable spot. If you want to respect Towers, Monsters, and Nor, it's a pretty good choice. If not, turn it into a second Dynamon, mission complete. And finally, our targets for the Diviner. We've got our Herald, and we've got our Entis. These things will never change as long as we play the Diviner in the main. Finally, let's round things out with the side deck. I have got the 1 copy of Lancia in here for any of those banished decks. Kashtira, Flaundereeze, we stay ready with this, 100% searchable. 2 copies of Kurikara for outing the Kashtira, Arise Heart, and any other big boards. Things like Apollosa, this is exceptional at dealing with. Triple copies of the Volcanic Queen, yes sirree. This is an out to a Rise Heart pass or any other individual boss monster we don't want to deal with, just sack over it. You could easily swap this for Lava Golem if you prefer. As for spell and trap matchups, we've got 2 copies of the Cosmic Cyclone and 1 Harpy's Feather Duster to go along with it. Triple copies of the Triple Tactics Talents for going first or second against an Arise Heart. You can side out your Droplets to bring this in. Pretty simple stuff. And then finally, I'm still playing the triple copies of the Grave, the Super Ancient Organism for the Branded matchup. That is everything for this list. I'm going to show you guys the combo real quick, super quick explanation, and then we will bring this to a close. So let's get into it.
Guys, super exciting announcement. First time ever, we have got official DRYKage Field Centers. Look at these beauties. You are going to be able to get your hands on these. Be sure to check out the link in the description down below and in the pinned comment so you can place a pre-order, and be sure to have your hands on the first ever official DRYKage Field Center. You're going to be looking fresh AF, pulling up the locals, breaking out your Alpha Zeta with this Field Center backing you up. Channel the power of the DRYKage in all of your duels going forward. Be sure to check it out. Link down below. Let's get into that combo tutorial.
Alright my friends, as promised, we got the combo tutorial again. It sucks to do the full combo, it is a 3-card tutorial, but it still is pretty good for what it does. It facilitates protection for one of the main win cons, and I will also mention that you can back up any of the other win cons this way. I'm just choosing to play it out this way because it's the safest through Nibiru, and I will also make explicit mention of another thing to our real DRYTRON players who have a lot of experience with the deck will already recognize this as we kind of go through this, but without further ado, let's dive into it and I'll get into the explanations at the end. Alright homies, so with this 3-card combo in the opening hand, again, the Ben 10 can be the Nouvelles level 5 or a Preparation of Rites. Either way will work, but in this situation we're just going to use it as Ben 10. But always you start things off with the Alpha Pitch Zeta. This will grab you the Nouvelles level 5 Ritual Monster, which you're going to be using for the combo. The same thing goes for Zeta. We're going to actually pitch off Ben 10 here, grabbing ourselves Medionis, and then Ben 10's effect here for this all intents and purposes. Real simple combo, we're just going to grab ourselves Vanity's Ruler. Keep it as easy as can be. So that's our Ben 10 effect. Resolve Zeta comes back out. Then we overlay these guys for Moy Beta like so. Using its effect of Foolish Burial, that'll send off Gamma from deck to grave. Now this is looking very familiar for those familiar with our old Vanity's Ruler list. We're going to detach off Moy Beta with the Medionis, summon back that Ben 10, and if you wanted to play into Nibiru, you can actually save additional cards on the field and end up ending on a Herald of Mirage Lights. I'm just flagging that for you now, but since we are trying to play around Nibiru for our 5th summon, we're just going to go straight up and tribute summon for that Vanity's Ruler. Ben 10 effect will then search, grabbing you another copy of Ben 10 like so for guaranteed follow-up, and then you can use the effect of Gamma in grave. Here I'm going to pitch off the Nouvelles level 5 to summon back itself and any name from grave. Now we can use Medionis, reduce to add back, doesn't really matter what you hit. In fact, if you do this earlier and hit the Moy Beta, it's probably even better, because then you can keep your attack stats the same. And then immediately go for the Medionis. We're going to say that I used it earlier or I used it on the Zeta, it doesn't really matter, to summon out the Nouvelles level 5. And here, this will immediately search for you the Counter Trap. So the Counter Trap is a pretty cool card. This lets you negate the activation of a spell or trap or monster effect while you control a Nouvelles ritual monster, and if it was summoned by the effect of a Nouvelles card, you can also destroy that. But since we're summoning it by Medionis, you don't get that. However, it's still going to serve the same intent of purpose as backing up your Vanity's Ruler, protecting it from things like Dark Ruler No More, Droplets, Imperm, the like. Now, for keen eyes, you will definitely be aware of the fact that this is pretty much the same as the Magic Key combo. I'm going to be completely honest, guys. This is the first thing that my head went to when I was seeing these two new Nouvelles cards. I'm like, this is the same thing as going for the Magic Key lock. Only downside is that you don't get the bonus of keeping a Moy Beta on field. So, you know, when we had Gamma and Zeta on field, we could have easily turned them into a second copy of Moy Beta and then had the secret effect of the Beto Buster unlocked for another spell and trap negate by detaching off of the Moy Beta. So objectively speaking, this is a little bit worse as a first turn combo than the Magic Keys, but the added benefit, and where I want to give credit where credit is due, is that having the Nouvelles is also a hard going second option. When you summon this one, you can really threaten the opponent with access to things like the Bale Grill, which can negate and tribute their board, as well as keeping the Bale Grill up as a interruption to summon the Hungry Burger on the opponent's turn. So those are the plus sides to this combo, but at the end of the day, if we're being 100% honest, this is still kind of an inferior version of the Magic Key lock in terms of going for the Vanity's Ruler. It's doing the same thing, just slightly worse, because this doesn't negate and destroy automatically. It only negates the activation. And I will also add that the cool thing about the Chef's Recipe is that this also at least can negate monster effects too. So that's one sneaky little thing that does kind of differentiate the special from the unlocking. But outside of that, again, at the end of the day, you are giving up a negate by not going for the Magic Keys. You do get access to the board breaking potential of the other Nouvelles cards. And overall, if I had to give this a serious rating, man, I think this is a very fun variant of DRYTRON, and you can do some cool things with it. But I don't know if this is the direction I would go if I was playing in a competitive event. Now, yes, same logic applies with the Beto Buster. You can use this or the Nouvelles level 5 to back up a Chaos Max or a Vanity's Ruler. It doesn't matter which win con you're going for. You just change the combo to your liking and use that one extender, that additional ritual summon at the end to summon out this guy and back it up with a counter trap. So it's still a very, very strong thing. I'm just saying, realistically speaking, the Magic Keys might just be doing the same thing but a little bit better, just without that added added going second option with the 2 tech choices we're choosing to play. So if you guys like this video, don't forget to smash that like button, and if we smash over 200 likes, I'll do a more big package Nouvelles focused deck, and I will be happy to do so. But with all that being said, Logan, JYA, saying have a great day. I'll see you beautiful people later. Peace.